In this video, I'm going to cover the topic of teaching confidence. This topic idea came about because a listener, viewer, whatever it is on YouTube, actually left a comment saying, hey, would you do an episode on how to teach confidence? We thought that was such a great idea. Here it is. If you have any ideas or requests, you want more how-to information on something, or you want to see me do an interview or whatever it is, please ask. We love to hear from you about what you'd like to hear from us. Teaching confidence is something that I have experience doing. I'm a person who, ever since I was really little, have just sort of been the person who does not let my doubts keep me from going for something. And if you were to know me, you would consider me to be a really confident individual. Now, part of that is because I have a whole lifetime of going for it, and that has made me confident. And so my guess is when someone wants help with this, they're trying to figure out how to instill some of that in their own child, just being willing to take what they consider risks, and for some kids that intellectual risk, they just don't have the confidence to do that. It's not that I never doubt my ability, but I have the ability to actually work through it. Now, I thought my kids would have that ability. I really took it for granted until through my children, my stepchildren, my grandchildren, I saw that that wasn't a very common trait, at least not in my family. And I had to really be quite thoughtful about how I could help those individuals have those skills. So in this episode, I'm going to pass some of what I learned along and some of my thoughts around this, because I've given a lot of thought to that overthinker right here. And this is an area that I've spent a lot of time thoughtfully thinking or overthinking, however you want to characterize it. The first step is actually to figure out why you think you need to be working on teaching confidence to your child. What are they saying? What are they doing? Be very specific with this. It's really important that you understand what is going on or why this is something that you think they need to be working on, sort of with a narrow lens. If you're too broad with this, then it becomes harder for you to do actionable things that will help. Once you have a clear idea of why you want to work on this with your child, the next step is modeling confident behavior. If you can set up a situation similar to where you see your child struggling, perfect. That is what you want. So you're going to model confidence. And actually, it's really great if you choose to model from a place where you don't know a lot. Or something that you've talked about yourself not being very good at before. Do this within the context of a growth mindset so that there's this understanding, so that you are modeling, if I just put one foot in front of the other, I will become better at this. And don't have some standard that you have to reach, because that's not fair. Those arbitrary standards of I'm going to be the best at this or I'm going to do this. What really is important to help your child be confident to take on new endeavors, or the way they talk about themselves, is to understand that every achievement is a step in your growth in an area, and that's how someone becomes confident enough to go for things. An important part of teaching confidence within the context of growth mindset is to set some achievable goals for your child. Choose some things that you are confident that they can do, but that their confidence is holding them back from doing. I recently had a really successful situation that happened with one of my grandsons. He was not confident he could read chapter books, so he was making all sorts of excuses for why he wasn't reading chapter books. I was pretty confident that he could read a chapter book, so I bribed him shamelessly and told everyone else I was bribing him to read Captain Underpants. Illustrated, high interest, totally silly humor. I knew that he would love it. And he read a chapter book. Well, he's halfway through reading all 12 books in the series. He fell in love with it, and now he talks all the time about reading chapter books with his friends. I chose an achievable goal that he didn't believe he could go for, and frankly was a little above his grade, where his grade level was testing. He goes to traditional school, and we just got his report card, and guess what? His reading level has bumped up significantly. All of those things really happened as a result of him gaining confidence. I didn't ask him to do anything he couldn't do. He just was holding himself back because of that. And so you want to really choose a goal that you really think that they can do, but that they don't. It especially with kids at the elementary years, it will flip a switch for those kids, as it's sort of like the barrier you knocked down. You helped them knock down a wall. And that's what's really important. Yes, I created the situation, but I didn't read the book for him. As a part of all this, be thoughtful about any time you're being kind of critical about something. Are you being too critical? Are you being too broad with your critique? I like to tell people, don't ever give your child a 1-star review. If you're giving them feedback on something, be thoughtful about how that can be given in the context of helping them grow. Now, that can be challenging for some people. Be thoughtful about the way you talk about yourself. It models really positive self-talk and self-evaluation as well. That is something that your child's paying attention to, how you talk about yourself and how you treat yourself. And so maybe, who knows, maybe you need to work on teaching confidence at the same time you're working on being more confident in your own endeavors. The language that you use around that can be really powerful and important as your child internalizes it. With kids, it's really important that you say things like, I'm very proud of you. That is actually important to talk about why you're proud, how the growth you've noticed. But I feel that more important than that is to say, you must be really proud of yourself. One of the things that you can do is the 1% better rule. The 1% better rule is where you ask your child to be 1% better today working on something than they were yesterday, and then have them articulate what they did that was 1% better. Why 1% better? Well, in 100 days, you're 100% better. But everybody can be 1% better, and if you get to define what you did that was 1% better, wow, isn't that confidence? Isn't that bringing confidence, recognizing your growth to the situation? I think it is. My final tip is to be thoughtful about the age and stage your child is at. There are some ages and stages, puberty is a great example, where most kids struggle with confidence. And so if your child's at one of those ages and stages, continue to give them achievable things that they can go for and be successful at. Nudge them to go for those. be very thoughtful about the language they use with themselves and the language that's used around them, including how the adults in their life talk about themselves. And then, provide the support that they might need, will definitely need if they're struggling. And if your child is really struggling, perhaps they need some counseling. Maybe they need to talk to a counselor. And if that's the case, then that can really be beneficial to helping kids with their the language that they use internally. I hope this helps you when you're working, teaching your child confidence. If there's anything else you'd like to get some how-to information to help homeschool your child, or if you're not a homeschooler, just working with your own child, please leave it in the comments. Then don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Bye for now.